Well, you've likely heard the famous phrase, everything is bigger in Texas. Well, one thing as big as the state is the demand here for energy.
As the Lone Star State continues to grow, a first-of-its-kind energy conference is addressing the need for more power here at home. The first-ever Permian Power Connection conference opened its doors in Midland to over 600 attendees, from not just across Texas, but across the country, having their eyes on power like never before.
Part of this conference is to elevate the Permian, draw attention to the in-place infrastructure, the stranded gas, the workforce, the land, the water that we have here to offer big tech companies out of Silicon Valley who are looking for the site of their next data center.
Joseph Tripke, co-founder of the conference, says the Permian Basin is still playing catch-up with other regions in Texas when it comes to electrification and technology.
I think if we look at some of the other places in shale, think about the Marcellus, maybe South Texas, they're ahead of the Permian in terms of AI data center deployments.
By 2030, this trend in Texas is projected to see over 4,000 AI data centers across the state. Chad Bullard with California-based company Armada says one of the many roadblocks that stand in the way.
But one of the realities is there's limitations on how we're going to actually be able to deploy artificial intelligence scale because of the power constraint. So that's one of the interesting opportunities in the Permian with the wealth of energy that's available here, right? Really, and a lot of it is unused. We'll be able to massively surpass the grid limitations on power.
Bullard says the bigger picture is to
be able to provide companies that operate out here and even companies and industries in the Midland Permian Basin to be able to innovate their business, but also a new revenue stream that's going to be pretty significant both for the operators, for the investment companies out here, and also just for the local communities as well.
Prag Mishra, also with Armada, says how energy transmission doesn't have to be costly.
You can take the energy and transmit them or transfer them to data centers and power them. But there are transmission costs, there are permitting, there are all kinds of infrastructure costs for transferring power from where it's being generated here in the Permian Basin all the way to the data center, the hyperscaler clouds there. But what we are saying that, look, you can bring all that compute and instead of laying out transmission lines so that it's not going to waste, you're not flaring the gas.
Local financial expert Mark DeZeta with ITC Tax says city leadership is taking notice to accommodate the growth.
I know working with the various economic development people, both in the city of Odessa as well as over here in Midland, they're doing a lot to encourage companies to come here.
DeZeta says even state incentives could be available to these large-scale companies.
So if anybody anticipates coming to the Permian Basin or to Texas with new facilities and they're going to create investment that might qualify, apply early and also make sure that you are competitively sited, that this is not the only location that's being looked at. So you have to make sure you meet the criteria that the comptroller will look at to gather these types of incentives.
Well, planning is already underway for the 2026 Permian Power Connection Conference, and Tripke says he expects an even larger turnout next year.
That's so much fun. For more details on the conference and how you can take part in next year's second annual event, go to our website, yourbasin.com.